Good evening, everyone. Tonight's Committee of Adjustment hearing is being held by video conference and live streaming video on the town's live stream webpage at oakville.ca. This is a hearing to consider applications for minor variance and consents held under the authority of the Planning Act. Please keep in mind that the intent of this process is to review the application that is before the committee, listen to the evidence, and then make a decision. This process is not intended to be used to resolve any concerns or disputes that may exist between the town, individuals, or organizations. If a request for a deferral is made and the committee grants such a request, the applicant or authorized agent must contact the Secretary Treasurer to schedule a new hearing date. In order to conduct an effective and efficient electronic hearing, we have adopted the following process. If you are watching the live stream of this hearing on oakville.ca and if you wish to speak to an item on the agenda, you can call 905-815-6095. Again, that's 905-815-6095. The phone number is also posted on your screen below the live stream page at oakville.ca. Staff will be standing by to take your call. When you call in, staff will ask your name and item number that you wish to address and your telephone number. Further instructions will be provided for you to call back to join the video conference. When the chair of the committee polls for interested parties, you'll have to press *6 to unmute yourself. The applicant or agent will then be given the opportunity to briefly explain to the committee the basis of their application and answer any questions that may arise. A maximum of 5 minutes will be provided for a presentation. You will need to state your full name and address for the record. Any submissions beyond the 5 minutes will be at the discretion of the committee. All delegations must also state their full name and address for the record. A maximum of 5 minutes will be provided to make your presentation. All remarks and questions are to be directed to the chair. Any submissions beyond the 5 minutes will be at the discretion of the committee. The applicant or agent will then be provided a further 5 minutes to provide a response to comments made by interested parties and answer any questions from the committee members. If the applicant or agent has comments, concerns found in staff report, particularly with any proposed conditions, this will be the opportunity to advise us. The matter will then be taken into committee for a decision, and this will mark the end of all discussions. Any person desiring a notice of decision for an application must provide a written request, preferably through email, to the Secretary Treasurer. Written notice of the committee's decision will be mailed no later than 10 days for minor variance and 15 days for consent held to the applicant, agent, and any other person who has filed a written request for such notice. The last day to appeal the decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal will be noted on the decision. Only the applicant, specified persons, or public bodies may appeal the committee's decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal. In November 2022, Bill 23 legislation, the More Homes Built Faster Act, amended the Planning Act to remove all appeal rights for members of the public. If no appeal is received within the prescribed timeframe, the decision of the committee becomes final and binding. The Secretary Treasurer will then notify the applicant and anyone who has received a copy of the decision through written correspondence. People participating in this hearing are to be courteous to and respectful of the members of the committee, town staff, and the other people participating in the electronic hearing. Tonight's electronic hearing is being video recorded and available to view at oakville.ca. Thank you. We have no regrets this evening. Declarations of pecuniary interests. Mr. Talowski.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'll just once again reaffirm my previously stated conflict on application A035-2026 at 309 Balsam.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Talowski. Any others? I see none. Okay, Madam Secretary, if there's anyone in attendance that wishes to defer or withdraw an application, please invite them in to speak. If you're interested in withdrawing or deferring an application, please raise your hand and the Secretary Treasurer will invite you in.
We're showing 2 hands, Madam Secretary. The first one is Henri Prifty for 446 Tower Drive.
Mr. Paridi, are you with us?
Yes. Yes. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Henry Prifty. I'm the applicant and the owner of 446 Tower Drive, application A/059/2026. I'm respectfully requesting a deferral of this application. I received the planning report and I read it carefully. And I take it their concerns seriously. During this time, I prepared revised drawings responding to the specific concerns identified by planning staff. In particular, this elevation and front facade composition. I've been in contact with the planner of the file, and she has confirmed that planning and urban design are willing to review the revised drawings following tonight's deferral. So
Very well.
Deferral for this to process the review of the revised drawings.
Okay, very good. Members, all those in support of a deferral? Okay, the application has been deferred. You'll see the Secretary Treasurer at your earliest convenience.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Our second one is Jonathan for file A058 of 2026 at 548 Swan Drive.
Okay, go ahead. Mr. Bensikowski?
Chair, I'm seem to having some audio issues, but I think I fixed it.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
So, Madam Chair, we are requesting a deferral to consult with planning based upon the comments received.
Very well, thank you. All those in support of a deferral? Okay, your application has been deferred, then you'll see the Secretary Treasurer when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, committee.
Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, that's all, Madam Secretary Treasurer, right?
Yes, that's all.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start with the first item of the agenda, which is application 002 of 2026, deferred from January the 21st at 246 Jones Street. I have Mr. Ted Loxton here as the agent.
Okay, I think I unmuted myself. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, good evening. I'm Ted Logston from Bayview Design Group, representing the owner at 246 Jones. Now, Madam Chair, just a question. This, I'm assuming we're treating this as a as if this hadn't been heard before.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Just go ahead and do your presentation as we usually would.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so this application, we asked for a deferral back in January to meet with staff and to come up with a proposal that would be agreeable to myself, the homeowner, and staff. And as a result, the rendering on the screen is, I guess, the agreed upon look and style of the house. So if we can go to the next slide, please. Okay, here's a Google Street View image of the subject property. Our property is the one with the tree hoarding in the middle there. The proposal that we're looking for, the house will be sort of in keeping with the size of the neighboring houses, while still keeping the minor variances to, as minimum as we could. So if we can go to the next slide, please. This is just showing the reason we deferred from the January meeting. When I was working with staff, it came to our attention that the two-story window at the front needed banding across the front of it, and they also recommended splitting the door into two smaller garage doors instead of one large garage door. And if we can go to the next slide, please. So the site plan is more just for reference to show the massing of our house compared to the neighbors' houses, very much in keeping with the neighborhood. And if we can go to the last slide, please, the next one. So my ask for the variance didn't change from January in terms of numbers, except for a typo that I had on my drawings. So the ask is for sorry, I'm trying to make out the numbers there. There we go. So the 39.8% lot coverage, where 35 is allowable, and the RFA to lot ratio of 43.55%, where 41% is allowable. And I guess that concludes what I have to say, so I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Loxton. Any questions for Mr. Loxton at this time? Okay. Has anyone called with interest for this application, Madam Secretary?
We've had no calls and no hands showing.
Okay, then we'll take a motion. Who would like to move a motion? Go ahead, Ms. Price.
Taking into account my previous site visit, the reports from the agent and staff, and there be no letters of opposition, I find the revised application to be minor in nature, in keeping with the general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw, and is desirable for the appropriate development of the land. The proposed development also maintains and protects the character of the existing neighborhood and does not present unacceptable adverse impacts. I appreciate the efforts made by the agent and staff to come up with a mutually agreeable design. In conclusion, I believe the four tests have been met, and I recommend the application be approved, subject to the following conditions. The dwelling being constructed in a general accordance with the submitted site plan dated February 4th, 2026, and elevation drawings dated February 5th, 2026. And that the approval expires 2 years from the date of the decision if the building permit has not been issued for the proposed construction.
Very well, thank you. Is there a discussion on this recommendation? I see none. All those in support? Okay, the application has been approved, none opposed.
Thanks very much.
Okay, have a good evening.
You too, thanks.
Yeah, application 032 of 2026 at 357 Seaton Drive. And that's again at 357 Seaton Drive, application 032 of 2026. I've got Mr. Richard Kosak as the agent.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, members of the committee.
Good evening. Go ahead, Mr. Kosak.
I'm Richard Kosak of New Age Design. I'm here as the agent of the owners at 357 Seton Drive. We have two variances today. We can look at slide 4. So our first variance is a garage floor area. We're asking for 62.26 meters where 45 square meters is allowed. It is a 3-car garage, but it's a 2 street-facing garages, and a third is a tandem, as you can see on the left side of the drawing, the 3-car garage. Our variance number 2 is for lot coverage. We're asking for 27.96%, where 25% is a max. That's all our variances. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Mr. Kosak. Any questions or items of clarification at this time? Okay, I see none. Has anyone called with interest for this application, Madam Secretary Treasurer?
We've had no calls and no hands in the audience.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to move a motion? Go ahead, Mr. Hardcastle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Having undertaken my site visit and having reviewed the materials, including the written staff report, I am satisfied that the requested variances conform to the 4 tests of the Act. Accordingly, I'll put forward a motion of approval subject to 2 conditions. Those being that the dwelling be constructed in general accordance with the submitted site plan dated February 2nd, 2026, and elevation drawings submitted with the application, and that the approval will expire within 2 years of the date of the decision if a building permit has not been issued.
Thank you. Is there a discussion on this recommendation? I see none. All those in support? Okay, the application has been approved. None opposed.
Thank you, Madam Chairman and members of the committee.
Have a good evening. Okay, application 33 of 2026 at 1410 Devon Road. And that's again, application 33 of 2026 at 1410 Devon Road. Mr. Edwards, you'll be presenting.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead now.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Shane Edwards from Hughes Design Studio Limited, located at 1A Conestoga Drive, Brampton, Ontario. And we're the authorized agents representing the property owners for 1410 Devon Road, which is application number A033-2026. And I'll be speaking to the variance application this evening. The application is rather straightforward, so I'll try to keep my presentation brief. We're requesting 3 variances, and I'll go through those right now. The first is a maximum RFA variance. So the maximum permitted RFA is 37% of the lot area, and we're proposing 39.98% of the lot area. If I could please ask you to flip to page 10 of the supplied document. Thank you very much. So at the top of the page there, you'll see that there's a rendering. So with regards to the RFA, the main design point was we tried to keep the massing diminutive as could be seen from the street. So you'll see that there are some areas over the garage at the right side that we've actually pushed back the massing, so by 2.31 meters and 2.98 meters. We've also introduced some vertical architectural features and tried to keep them minimal, as well as added a mix of materials to further break up the visual massing. We've also, as you can see at the left side there is an open or a high ceiling living area that we've actually reduced the roof line and brought that ceiling area down. So that's actually for two purposes. Number one, the second story roof, as you'll see, has been pushed back significantly. And we've also prevented the use of any upper volume of that living room to be used as in a future addition to the second story, because that ceiling has been brought down that significantly. If you look also at the bottom of the page, you'll see that there is a rear great room, that there's a left elevation there. You'll see that there's a rear great room where similar situation, there's a high volume ceiling, and we've done the same. We've brought down the ceiling rather significantly to match the front higher volume living room. And that again has served two purposes. One, that upper volume can't be used for any future second story development. And we've also pushed the upper massing of the upper roof further away from the side property line. The second variance is for lot coverage. So the maximum permitted lot coverage is 25%. Our proposed lot coverage is 29.14%, which is a 4.14% overage, or about 43.24 square meters. Most of this overage can be attributed to a rear single-story covered porch in the rear yard, and you can kind of see that in the lower elevation on the screen right now. So that lower one-story covered porch, and there's some second-story projections over the ground story that attribute to most of that lot coverage overage, about 2.77% of the 4.14, which is about 2/3. And obviously we believe that that lower rear covered terrace is, as it's central in the rear elevation, it won't have any kind of visual or direct impact to the neighbors whatsoever. The third variance is for garage area. Maximum permitted is 45 square meters, and we're proposing 46.51 square meters. This is a difference of 1.51 square meters, or about 16.25 square feet. And as you can see in the rendering image there, it is a normal two-car garage from the street view. And that overage, the small overage, can be attributed to just some storage space that's added to the rear and at the sides of when the vehicles are parked. But from the street, it'll appear as a normal two-car garage, and the garage itself does meet all other required setbacks. With all that being said, we do believe that the variances meet the forward test of the Planning Act, and we did review staff's report as well that also confirmed that they share the same sentiments. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions from yourself or other committee members. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards. Any questions or items of clarification with respect to this application? Okay. Has anyone called with interest for this application, Madam Secretary Treasurer?
We've had no calls, and we're showing no hands in the audience.
Okay, very well. We will take the matter into committee. Who would like to move a motion? Go ahead, Mr. Talowski.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'll be pleased to move that this application be approved as applied for, finding that it meets the four tests of the Planning Act. With respect to the three variances, I think they are all very well mitigated by what I'll call a very thoughtful design. I don't see any impact as a result of these variances. I would make that approval subject to two conditions: that the dwelling be constructed in general accordance with the site plan and elevation drawings dated January 22nd, 2025, and that the variance expires if a building permit hasn't been issued within 2 years of the decision.
Very well. Thank you, Mr. Talowski. Is there a discussion on this recommendation? I see none. All those in support? Okay, the application has been approved, none opposed.
Thank you, Madam Chair, committee. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Application 35 of 2026 at 309 Balsam Drive. Again, that's application 35 of 2026 at 309 Balsam Drive. I have Mr. Demchek here as the agent.
Good evening, members of the committee.
Good evening. Go ahead, Mr. Demchek.
Great. Thank you. Yes, my name is Paul Demchak with Patori Planning and Management. I'm the planning consultant on behalf of the applicant for 309 Balsam Drive. This dwelling, I'll just note, was previously approved, in 2023, which included variances at that time to permit a number of deviations from the zoning bylaw. This included a total of 3 garages, an increase in the dwelling depth, main wall percentage variance, as well as an increase in the overall maximum dwelling height. A total of 2 variances are being sought this evening for the proposed addition, which is an open air carport to the existing dwelling you can see on the left side of this image. And I'll note that this dwelling is under construction. And there's also a proposed reduction to the side yard setback, as well as a variance to the number of garages being 4 to permit this carport. Next slide, please. So this is just an image showing an aerial photograph in the immediate context. And I'll note that this immediate context on Balsam Drive is comprised of large lots, with the east side of Balsam Drive having lots that are generally much larger in lot area and depth relative to the west side of Balsam Drive. The dwellings on the east side of Balsam Drive in the vicinity of the subject site are also generally further set back from the front lot line compared to the west side of the street, with a variety of front yard setbacks that exist within this immediate context. Many of the dwellings in the immediate context also include recently reconstructed large dwellings. And I will also note that many of these large lots feature a range of side yard setbacks within the neighborhood, which do make up the character of the neighborhood, and specifically the east side of Balsam Drive. And I'd like to take you to the next slide to explain some of these setbacks. So an analysis was completed of the side yard setbacks in the immediate neighborhood, as well as the side yard setbacks that had been previously approved by the Committee of Adjustment in recent years. I'll note that this fulsome data is provided in the final 2 slides appended to this presentation for the benefit of the committee. However, I want to highlight a few of the key statistics which are shown on this particular slide. I'll note that the highlighted cells in green provide for the existing side yard setbacks of the 7 abutting properties on the east side of Balsam Drive, which is between 253 and 327 Balsam Drive. I will note that none of these 7 lots feature a zoning bylaw compliant side yard setback on at least one side of the respective required side yards. These setbacks are all deficient from the zoning bylaw requirements of 4.2 meter side yard setback requirements, which make up the character of the neighborhood and the streetscape of dwellings on the east side of Balsam Drive. I'll further note that in the neighborhood side yard setback analysis that I've prepared, a total of 57 properties were assessed in terms of examining their existing side yard setbacks, all of the identical zone. 43 of these 59 properties have side yard setbacks that do not comply with the bylaw requirements of 4.2 meters, which is 75% of the properties within this neighborhood. This is not an uncommon characteristic in the immediate context, as well as the greater neighborhood. Next slide, please. So these are images of the dwelling, which is currently under construction. I will note that the image on the right is an overhead view of the dwelling. And the southern side yard provides for a 4.86 meter side yard setback from the adjacent dwelling to the south, while the northern side yard features a range of setbacks, which range on this side from 4.3 meters to 7.78 meters, well in excess of the bylaw requirements. I will show this further on an upcoming slide. This side yard setback features a unique condition with the neighboring property to the north, which, as you can see, has a garage located in the front yard of their existing dwelling, which is a legal non-conforming condition. Next slide, please. So this is a site plan of the existing dwelling that was, again, previously approved, as well as the location of the proposed 47 square meter open air carport addition, which is highlighted in yellow. This is located again at the northern side yard of the existing dwelling, where greater side yard setbacks exist compared to the minimum bylaw requirements. Further, this carport is located beside, again, the existing 2-story detached garage to the north, which is again, just to note, located in the front yard of the adjacent dwelling and property to the north. Next slide, please. So I briefly just want to focus on this slide as it helps to illustrate the varied side yard setbacks that are provided on this northern side yard where the open air carport is proposed. So the green overlay provides for the portions of the dwelling and side yard area which are greater than the minimum setback requirements of the bylaw, being 4.2 meters. The hatched area is the location of the proposed open air carport, and the yellow area is the only portion of the proposed carport addition which is proposed to extend into the required side yard setback. I will note again that this carport interfaces immediately abutting the existing detached garage to the north, and this neighbor has written a letter of support for the proposed variance, which has been provided to the committee. And again, I just want to quickly go through the series of setbacks that I just noted. So you can see just at the top of the screen, which is on the far eastern, northeastern side of the dwelling, you can see there's a 4.3 meter side yard setback. As we go down, the dwelling further cascades away from the adjacent side yard to 5.8 meters. For the portion of the carport that is the variance that is being requested to be reduced to 1.5 meters. And then you can see the balance of the setback to the existing dwelling is 7.78 meters on the northern side yard closest to the western front wall of the dwelling. Next slide, please. So here are the existing front and rear elevations. I'll just note on the front elevation, you can see the proposed open air carport on the left side of the image. This carport features no walls and is a single story in height, which assists in mitigating massing impacts and transitions appropriately to the neighbor to the north. Next slide, please. Just here's a section of the proposed carport in relation to the existing adjacent detached garage to the north. Again, in my opinion, it has been proportionally designed to be compatible with the adjacent built form. Next slide, please. And here's a rendering of the proposed carport, which further illustrates the massing being mitigated in terms of its single-story design, as well as the planned landscaping and tree planting that is being proposed between the two respective properties. And so I just want to highlight for the committee a few key items for consideration in this application. The side yard setback reductions that have been provided for other homes in this context are in many cases of a full wall or 2 stories in height. And the proposed setback in this instance features a single story carport, which has no walls and is open air and single story in height and will not be enclosed, which assists in mitigating its massing impacts. The existing dwelling, I'll note, is set back 30 meters from the front yard, while the proposed carport is located 41 meters from the front yard to further mitigate potential massing impacts from a streetscape perspective. And the carport is located in the side yard, again, which features existing setbacks of over 7 meters and has demonstrated a series of setbacks which are in excess of the bylaw. I again want to note the neighbor has provided a letter of support, which in my opinion is the only impacted neighbor by the proposed addition. And as shown in the side yard setback analysis data that I've provided, I'll note that the original house at this property, being 309 Balsam, had a side yard setback in this location of 2.1 meters on the north side, which was a full 2 stories in height, which highlights that a reduced setback is not a new condition for this lot, and again, as well as within the immediate neighborhood context. On this basis, in my opinion, the development satisfies the 4 tests for a minor variance application under the Planning Act. And I will also note that a no objection report has been provided from staff. That concludes my presentation, and I'd be happy to assist and answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Demchak. Are there any questions, items of clarification of Mr. Demchak? Go ahead, Mr. Dick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm usually pretty concerned about setbacks. In this case, I'm concerned here. You're asking for a 1.5 meter setback when the zoning bylaw requires a 4.2 meter setback. In my opinion, the reason that we want such large setbacks in these lots, or in this zone, is because the lots are quite wide. In your case, your lot is 47 meters wide, as I have it written down. I hope that's correct, about 150 feet. And my interpretation is the intent of the zoning bylaw is to allow a sufficient space between the house and the property lines, or between the houses, because the houses would be quite wide and quite massive in appearance. So that's the reason I am concerned in this case about the setback. Now, if there's anything I've listened to your presentation, but I'm still not convinced that this is appropriate or desirable. So anything you'd like to add or emphasize, please do.
Through you, Madam Chair, to Member Dickey. I appreciate the comment and I agree with the perspective on what the intent of the side yard setback is. Obviously, it's intended to ensure that we mitigate massing impacts, we mitigate and ensure that there's appropriate separation distance between adjacent properties. As I've provided in this presentation, there's a significant number of deviations to the side yard setbacks. And in many of these instances, these are some of the largest lots objectively within the town of Oakville. And in many of these cases, the massing impacts is mitigated in some instances with design features where only portions of the dwelling perhaps will be reduced in terms of the side yard setback requirement. And I would suggest to you that that is absolutely the case in this instance. There are other instances where a full 2-story dwelling may be featured on a reduced side yard setback, and that has also been provided in the data. However, again, in this instance, it's a single-story carport garage feature, which is an open air condition, and it appropriately mitigates massing impacts, both in terms of its placement in this instance, as well as ensuring that there's appropriate landscaping, and it's designed adjacent to the adjacent garage to the north, which has been supported by the neighbor in this instance, who again is the only one being impacted.
Okay. Any other questions or items of clarification? Okay, I see none. Has anyone called with interest for this application, Madam Secretary Treasurer?
We've had no calls and no hands showing in the audience.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to move a motion? Go ahead, Mr. Dickey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Based upon my review of the owner's application, the site plans, building elevations, my site visit, the presentation by the owner's consultant, and the planning staff's report, I'm still of the opinion that this is not desirable or appropriate relative to the side yard setback. So I put forth a motion that this application be denied.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dickey. Is there discussion on this recommendation? Go ahead, Mr. Hardcastle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll just take a quick moment to reiterate or to iterate my concerns with respect to the proposal, and I will support the and advise that I'll support the recommendation on the floor.
Okay. The motion is to deny. All those in support? Okay, all those opposed? Okay, and the chair will abstain. The application has been denied.
Thank you, members. Good evening.
Have a good evening. Okay, application 39 of 2026 at 1275 North Service Road West. Again, this is application 39 of 2026 at 1275 North Service Road West. I have Oz Kamal here as the agent.
Can you hear me okay?
Now we can. Go ahead.
Great, thank you. Good evening, members of committee. My name is Oz Kamal. I'm a partner with MHBC Planning. Thank you for bringing up the presentation. I'm here today on behalf of our client, Ennis Clare Corporation Center, Inc., for their property at 1275 North Service Road. This minor variance is associated with an application for site plan approval that was originally submitted in December of 2024, with subsequent submissions made in August 2025 and January 2026. Comments from the town zoning department confirmed the required variance for the maximum front yard setback and confirmed that we comply with all other provisions of the bylaw. As such, we've submitted this application requesting to vary the maximum front yard setback regulation in the office employment zone. Next slide, please. The subject lands are located on the north side of North Service Road West and Highway 403, just east of Third Line. This site is part of a comprehensive employment area that consists of existing motor vehicle uses along North Service Road West, consisting of, as you can see on the screen, there's an Acura dealership, Mazda, Lexus, Audi, Volkswagen, and most recently, the newly constructed Grand Touring Automobiles Oakville dealership, which is shown in the aqua blue color. We're located directly to the east of it. The overall lands are shown in the red outline, and the area of development is shown in the red dashed border. So out of that red outline, we're on the west side of our property. What we're proposing is a two-story Genesis dealership. There's probably some promotional signage out there by the Raptor superfan who will be owning this dealership. Through the site plan application process, the variance was raised as a requirement. Next slide, please. So this is a zoomed in version of our site of the previous slide to give you a better understanding of why we're asking for this variance. So the subject lands as well as the adjacent dealership are within the E1 zone, and that requires a minimum front yard of 3 meters and a maximum front yard of 17.5 meters. And those are shown in yellow. Now, due to the subject land's proximity to Highway 403, the Ministry of Transportation also has a minimum 14-meter setback from the property line, and that's shown in the dashed black line. So instead of having a buffer of 3 meters and 17.5 meters by which to locate the building, we now only have 14 and 17.5 meters, which creates a narrow pinch point in where you can locate the building. Now, what we're requesting is this variance because when you factor in the other items that are required for this application, they all have to be outside of that 14-meter setback. So they all have to be north of that line. So we needed the additional space to maintain a 6-meter fire route, maintain accessible parking spaces along, as well as maintaining accessible parking spaces along the front of the building facing North Service Road West. So those required items through the site plan approval required us to have the drive aisle plus accessible parking, an enhanced walkway in front of the building, necessitated the variance to go from the 17.5 maximum to 32 meters. And this is similar to the minor variance application for the Grand Touring Automobile dealership, who received a similar variance back in, I believe it was August 2022. Next slide, please. So this is the site plan showing the existing office building on the north, which used to say Travelers on it. We are at the south end of the page with the new dealership. All other provisions of the bylaw are being met. We're, again, at the tail end of the site plan approval process, subject to receiving this variance approval. I believe we are in a position to be getting a site plan agreement. We've also received clearances from Conservation Halton as well as the MTO. The variance is required to close out the site plan approval, and and as noted, staff are currently working on the agreement, and I believe we're hoping to see a draft of that next week. Staff are also supportive of the application subject to the conditions which we are in agreement with. The proposed development has been designed in coordination with the existing dealerships in the area that were recently approved, as well as the immediate to the west of us, the Grand Touring Automobiles Oakville dealership, to maintain that consistent street frontage within the established employment area. Next slide, please. This variance for the 32-meter maximum front yard setback also accommodates the main wall proportion regulation in the bylaw that requires a minimum of 35% of the main walls oriented towards the front lot line to be located within the minimum and maximum front yards. So the increase in the maximum front yard will allow the compliance of both the maximum front yard and the minimum main wall proportion. That concludes my presentation. Again, staff are supportive. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kamal. Any questions of Mr. Kamal, items of clarification? I see none. Has anyone called with interest for this application, Madam Secretary Treasurer?
We've had no calls and no hands showing in the audience.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to move a motion? Go ahead, Ms. Price.
Taking into account my site visit, the reports provided by the agent, staff, and Conservation Halton, and there being no letters of opposition, I believe the application to be minor in nature and is in keeping with the general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw, and is desirable for the appropriate development of the land. As mentioned by the staff, the proposed development supports the economic growth within the employment area and does not present unacceptable adverse impact to the surrounding land uses. In conclusion, I believe the 4 tests have been met, and I recommend the application be approved subject to the following conditions. That the motor vehicle dealership be constructed in accordance with the final approved site plan, SP 1523.006/01, to the satisfaction of the Director of Planning and Development, and that the approval expires 2 years from the date of the decision if a building permit has not been issued for the proposed construction.
Okay, is there a discussion on this recommendation? I see none. All those in support? Okay, the application has been approved.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. Okay, application 41 of 2026 at 599 Chartwell Road. Again, it's application 041 of 2026 at 599 Chartwell Road. I have Nancy Friday as the agent, or Mr. Rick Metaljan.
Yes, I'm Rick Metaljan. I'm the agent for the applicant tonight.
Go ahead, Mr. Metaljan.
Yes, thank you. I'm Rick Metaljan from SMDA Architects in Oakville. Our address is 482 South Service Road East. We're before the committee this evening with this project. It's a building known as a support house. It's located on the east side of Chartwell, south of North Service Road and north of the railroad tracks. This facility has been operating in this area since about the mid 1980s. We're here this evening because this is a legal non-conforming use, and we're seeking permission to extend that use. The background here is that we were before this committee about 2 years ago with an original scope of work on this site. The original scope of work at that point was that we had been engaged to do improvements to the building. The intention was to create some additional common spaces and to improve the life safety factors of the building with the addition of some new exit stairs and so on, and also to improve the barrier-free aspects of the building with a ramp and elevator. So we were before the committee for that purpose 2 years ago. The committee gave us their approval. What has happened in the meantime is that some additional funds have become available through the region of Halton, and we're now in a position that we can add additional rooms to this facility. So this facility operates as a place that provides support to individuals who are either suffering homelessness or dealing with issues of substance abuse, addiction, and so on. And they provide a very necessary use in the community. As indicated, they've been doing this since the mid-1980s very successfully. So we're before the committee then to ask for that permission. So the scope of work you can see from the site plan. I can explain the existing building is, you can see that hatched area, and then the dark areas on the left and right. The area on the left, that's an addition, the purpose of which is to provide a new barrier-free entrance to the building and also a new common room and a barrier-free washroom. And the addition on the right, the small one, that's an exit stair that will come down from the upper story. So the plan is to provide those additions on the main floor, or like on the ground level, and they come up. And then we're proposing also to do an addition on the third floor. It's mainly the third floor addition where we'll be able to provide the additional bedroom facilities. So we, as indicated, we believe that this is a use that's very necessary in the community, and its present location, which is in an E2 zone, is also really very optimal for this kind of use. It's never had any issues from the standpoint of concerns with the community and so on. To our knowledge, there's no issues from the local business owners and so on. The building functions very, very well. So I'd be happy to answer any more questions, but would ask for your support to allow this to go forward.
Thank you, Mr. Metaljan. Is there any items of clarification or questions of Mr. Metaljan? I see none. Let's have a motion then. Has anyone called with interest in this application, Madam Secretary Treasurer?
We've had no calls and no hands showing in the audience.
Okay, thank you. Who would like to move a motion? Go ahead, Mr. Tarowski.
Madam Chair, I'll move that this application be approved as applied for. I find the variance to be similar to the existing use and not any more intensive than the use being not any more intensive than the existing use or other permitted uses within the zone. I would note that there's no opposition. I'd also make that approval subject to the additions being constructed in general accordance with the site plan elevation drawings dated November 5th, 2025, and that the variance expires within 2 years of the building permit hasn't been issued.
Thank you, Mr. Tarowski. Is there a discussion on this recommendation? I see none. All those in support? Okay, the application has been approved, none opposed.
Thank you, committee.
Have a good evening.
Good night.
We have application 55 of 2026 at 2229 Glenfield Road. Again, it's application 055 of 2026 at 2229 Glenfield Road. I have Mr. Salman Alahi as the agent.
Yes, good afternoon. I am clear and loud enough?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, my name is Salman Ilahi and I'm representing the application as an agent number A55-2026. My name is Salman Ilahi, office address 126 Burnham Top Road East, Unit A, Oakville, Ontario, L6X0X9. So the purpose of this application today is very minor in nature. The owner of the property is also present in my office if he would like to speak if required. There is only one variance requested in this application, which is below grade uncovered stairs on the left side yard. The zoning allows 0.6 meter setback from the below grade stairs to the property line. We have only 0.4 0.48 meters, which is a reduction of 0.12 meter setback. The reason of this below grade stairs on the side yard is that there is a very small backyard on the property, and homeowner would like to create a below grade entrance for the second unit. We have gone through the report of the city. They are in favor. We have no objection on the recommendations. We have gone through the objections of the neighbors as well. If they have any concerns, we are ready to reply back or comment back. This is the end of the presentation. If they have any other questions, feel free to ask.
Okay, Mr. Elahi, I have letters of opposition on record here. Has anyone called with interest for this application, Madam Secretary Treasurer?
Yes, we're showing one hand up in the audience.
Okay, go ahead.
Charlie and Rosanna Lopresti.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, go ahead. We can hear you. If you put able to put your camera on, that'd be great as well.
Camera. Good evening.
Okay, good evening. Go ahead.
Yes. Sure. First, I have some questions with regards to the presentation and also what was presented by the town in their report, if that's okay, just for clarification. Then I have our presentation and then finally some recommendations. So you let me know the order. This is all new to us. So would you like me to change the order? Let me know as we go. The first thing is in the presentation given under general notes, which was submitted, and the schedule or the draft February 2026 under general notes, there's a drawing and there's an error in the drawing. It reads 0.47 meters and it should read 0.48. And our concern is we don't want this to become an oops situation where people aren't abiding by the rules or the actual measurements. So that's one thing. So I don't know if that requires a deferral. Secondly, a point of information and a question. Union Gas has not responded, although this impacts the gas line. It says no comments received. Is that no comments yet? Or is that there's just no comments from Union Gas at all? And we can discuss that later.
Sure, also, keep going.
Also, sorry, letters of opposition. When we received or when it was posted through the Committee of Adjustment through the Chair and the Secretary Treasurer, it said letters of opposition and it read 5. In actuality, in sequence, there were 7 letters of opposition. And
we do have 7. We do have 7.
Perfect. And there was an additional one posted after the April 10th date. So there's a total of
we have 8. We received it. Yeah. You need not worry about it.
Okay, perfect. So now, if it's okay, with your permission, Madam Chair, I'd like to start the presentation. Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, and then we'll have some of these questions answered.
And there might be other questions, and certainly I have recommendations, or they may have recommendations along the way. I'd like to keep this as amicable as possible, obviously. So good evening, Madam Chair, Secretary Treasurer, Committee of Adjustment members, and our town staff members, to the agent and to our neighbors, all our neighbors who may be viewing, and also to our next door neighbor. We are Charles and Rosanna Lopresti at 2233 Glenfield Road, Oakville. And we thank you for this opportunity to speak tonight and share our concerns in opposition to the variance before us tonight. We've been blessed to live in our home issue-free for 26 years. And for me, it's been a lifetime in the town of Oakville. At the core, we feel that upholding bylaws is paramount in keeping to the integrity of our communities and maintaining the pre-cited and predetermined official plan intended for our neighborhood in 1998-1999. We know that the province has added a margin for growth in supporting the current needs in Ontario. That's understood. But the variance is over and above that 10% allowance even by the province. We're not opposed to growth in Oakville, but we feel that it is incumbent and the responsibility of the town to delineate moving forward in new builds, going north or wherever they're going to expand, that we leave room for side egress or side stairwells if that's really what the town is intending to do. So vis-a-vis new construction and not current construction. We in Oakville pride ourselves on heritage homes, green spaces, window panes and glass are treated with great care, and so is tree preservation. So we'd like to take this opportunity to preserve this designated low density residential area, and in the areas of safety, security, logistics, and privacy issues. Our home is our haven, and we're quite disruptive and disrupted by this and anxious with what this dictates for our community and our home. Our areas of concern in the letter, as I said, safety. Between the two houses, we both have exposed gas meters, AC units, furnace, exhaust, and so construction will be impacted. Also, and we've submitted pictures to the town with all this as well.
Yeah, we have
Our concern under safety, yes, thank you for acknowledging. We also have we're discussing an open below grade stairwell that is quite massive in design at 11 feet, 7 inches, bigger than the staircase in my house, let's say, and it's open facing to the street. There's no concern for the younger children or safety in that regard. The other thing is in the backyard, we need complete clearance for my mom who's in a wheelchair, my dad in a walker. We don't want anything encroached on our property. We take that also very seriously. We want people to have access because it is a passageway to the backyard. That's what it was intended for, and that's what we'd like it to remain as. In addition, we're concerned for snow removal, especially this year. We had a lot of snow and snow clearance. We want to make sure that we have the ability to do that safely between the two houses and move it out without a below grade staircase. In security, we know that we've had, as Chief Tanner has been saying, a lot of break-ins in Oakville, and I just saw the mayor of Guelph say it today, to stay vigilant between houses and backyards, and that's something that is of concern too. We have an occurrence number listed for activity with our car in that area, so we'd like less is more to us. Also, as so far as privacy and security, again, it's not an area for congregation or egress, it's an area for passageway to our front and backyards. When we look at logistics, we're looking at the disruption and damage that might take place to our adjacent interlock stairway and hallway, excuse me. Also, the current landscape that we share with them has existing water drainage, and we don't want that tampered with at all. Also, new construction on their part and cement might impact water drainage on our end or pools of water. Given the neighbors' limited access or space, again, we don't want any encroachment on our property, and ours is of the wider if you look at the dimensions in the drawings.
Or the wider side, yeah.
Or the wider side, given by our neighbor, or the town actually has presented those. Yeah. We also, went out there and just took measurements. Very basic people, don't know all this beautiful language that everyone's speaking, but we do want to say that in taking the measurement, they have a 48 centimeter open to them to access their backyard without encroaching on ours. And that's not even the width of a lawnmower. And so we don't even know how they're going to get in their backyard without encroaching on ours. I know that's a them problem, but I don't want it to become an us problem. The houses on our street are of a significant size in proportion to lot sizes. They were built as bigger houses on smaller lots, not like the houses we saw in previous pictures. And we want to say that they were built big already. So why are we making them bigger? There are no side doors to our garages or points of egress to the house, and that was intentional, and that's by design and pre-cited by the town of Oakville. So we'd like to the current usage of land to stay compatible with the current zoning bylaws. We're just asking that the bylaw be upheld. We're not asking for special favors or allowances, but just that the bylaw is adhered to. If for privacy, our concern is that we have 5 south-facing interior windows that face our neighbors. I just want to say that it adversely impacts us in that our dining room and living room face on. We will be seeing them. I don't want anyone seeing me in my pajamas eating my Wheaties. I like a little more privacy than that. That should not be a point of egress. It's a pass-through passageway. And I don't want to feel like I am being adversely impacted in how I'm living in my home, or a level of self-consciousness based on the frequency with which this becomes someone else's dwelling entrance. We also have 2 bedroom windows that face the interior south side, and we're concerned for noise there as it now presents someone else's point of egress. And the proximity, again, impedes, sorry, I'll just let that go. It's just, okay. I do want to say that, let me just see my notes here, I apologize. We have neighborly suggestions. I don't know if they're open, if you're open to suggestions right now, if you have any questions for me for what I shared so far, but the neighborly suggestion is that they consider the backyard. I know they said it's a small backyard, but it's much bigger than the side yard. And that's just very basic. And so we know that our neighbor is in real estate and development. He gives us his card. He works on permits and design and everything. So I'm sure that he can think of and create something beautiful for the backyard that could be safe and speak to leaving the side yard as a point of passage through and not a point of egress for another person. The other thing they could do is they have a front door enclosure over their front door, and to enter their main door, they could build a side door to access the garage, and through the garage go through to what is available, an interior staircase that they could partition off or do what they want, or go through direct garage door entry that renders right to the basement. There's an existing stairwell. If at all that we have to go this route, which we are 100% opposed to, and we'll go through the following reasons, we are saying that if a fence, I mean, does it get approved, that it would be expected that there be a very, very tall fence, but in keeping with bylaws, of course. I think that's 6'6".
At their expense.
At their expense for the shared property line, right to where the garages are. So right from the backyard to the front, solid wood construction. And again, no impact to our side at all. That's not the intent. We don't want that. So formally, we are opposed to the above minor variance, as are 7 of our neighbors who have submitted letters. And we are opposed because we feel that it fails to meet the test under the Ontario Planning Act. The variance is not minor in nature, because we're allowing now that 20%. The proposal does not maintain the general intended purpose of the zoning bylaw or maintain the neighborhood character. And finally, the variance is not desirable for the appropriate development or use of the land, as it is a passage through and not a point of egress.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions from the members to Mr. and Mrs. Lopercetti? I will get you those questions answered.
Okay, thank you.
I'm looking, Mr. Elahi, I am looking at the drawings, and I see the 0.47 meters that's in the submitted drawings. Can you clarify the calculation there is correct? And it's...
Yes, I would like to clarify that we have multiple discussions with the committee members and with the planning staff. We have submitted the revised drawing where it says that 0.48 meters, and that is what it is mentioned in the report. So 0.48 is the correct one. 0.47 is basically the previous drawing. Maybe by mistake it came to you, and if that is the case, there is only 0.01 meter difference in the drawing. So there are a couple of revisions happen. In my report, it is 0.48. I apologize if it is 0.47. That is an old drawing. And there are a couple of questions and raised by the...
I'll give you a moment to respond. Just let me ask this question of the planner.
Yes.
Ms. Haj Saleh, I have a question for you. I'm looking at the plans right now, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm still seeing 0.47 on the plans that are attached to April 15th of 2026.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. The notice that was provided with the plans does state 0.48, and that's what we assessed it based on the notice that it was provided.
And in terms of GAS not having any comments, does that mean that they have no objection, or they just haven't submitted their comments thus far?
I would say that given that we did provide them an opportunity to provide comments, and if they don't have comments, it could mean that they have no objections. That's how, just based on like typical practice, that usually means that they have no objections. They do have an amount of time to provide comments, and if they do have any concerns, they would provide those to the town.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Members, do you have any questions of Mr. or Mrs. Lopercetti before I hand it over to Mr. Elahi to comment? Okay, I see none. Okay, Mr. Elahi, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I would like to clearly state that nobody is encroaching the neighbor's land. Whatever we are proposing is within the land of my owner. Okay. The left side yard setback is 1.51 meters. I would like to say one more thing is that if we go back and propose the stairs in the backyard, then there's no need for us to come to this committee and ask for the minor variance. Right. We have explored all the options. There is a reason that why we are proposing it on one of the side yard, and this short of depth is basically triggering that minor variance application. So this is one point. The second point is that children's safety. Okay, there is a below grade stairs, and above that there is a handrail, which is a guardrail, okay, which prevents anybody to fall in. That is a standard practice. It is in the building permit application as well, so there will be no problem. It is as per the Ontario Building Code. The next thing is that wheelchair access. Now, wheelchair access, if somebody is going into the backyard, okay, they can use either a right side yard or within the house. Since we are not encroaching any of the neighbors' land, as they are going now to the backyard in a wheelchair, they can easily go even if the below grade stair is over there, right? The next point is that snow removal. There is plenty of snow accumulation space on the right side of the driveway to be accommodated as a snow removable place. Yes, on the side yard right now, if there is a snow, there is nobody over there. Somebody is cleaning it up, most probably the current homeowner or the new homeowner. So if there is a snow in the side yard with the below grade, definitely the homeowner is going to take care of it. And then there is a passageway. This property have a right side yard, okay, which is 1.57. Left side yard, which is 1.51 meters. So if there is a passageway requirement, my client can easily use on the right side instead of a left side. If they want to go to the backyard, they can use their own patio door and they can use a side yard. So it is quite wide enough. Even if it is a lawnmower issue, they can go from the side yard, which is the right side. They can go from within the house. That's not a big issue. And backyard stairs, as I said earlier, that we have discussed this option with our client numerous times, and we come up that if we propose that it is going to be a very clumsy kind of a basement apartment that is not going to be serving the purpose of my clients. So I believe that if there is a proposal that it is going to hinder the privacy of the neighbors, we are willing to accommodate a privacy screen, which can basically fulfill the requirement, but putting a complete fence over there, I don't think so that we and my client would agree with that.
And Mr. Elahi, how do you plan to mitigate the whole construction, seeing as though that the open space between you right now is not separated by any fencing or anything like that?
Madam Chair, normally this has happened that if there is a mutual side yard and there is no fence, okay, the below grade stair is open, okay. There's no division in between the two. But as I said earlier, that if there is a concern of a privacy, on top of the guardrail, we are willing to put a privacy screen so that it will not hinder that.
No, my question is not to do with privacy. My question to do is during the construction, so that you don't impede their passageway on their side.
Madam, during the construction, they are going to be in their property. It is a 1.51 meter setback. It is more than enough to do the construction. There will be no problem over there. And we have done numerous kind of constructions in the past which is less than this side yard setback. I don't know what this comment is coming from, that they are going to impede their property. They can easily accommodate from the right side yard, or they can come from the backyard, or they can come from the side yard.
Yeah, but you're asking them to move to a different location, and that in itself is not an acceptable argument, right? If they choose to use that side for wheelchair access or for any other access, you cannot in any way, shape, or means obstruct their access just because there's no fence between you. Do you get that? Like, you can't just say that.
No, madam, we are not asking them to go to another side yard. They are going to use their side yard to access the backyard.
You mean your client?
Your client, my client, okay? But my question is that, I mean, how it is impacting any other property nearby?
No, her question is, are we encroaching on their property?
No, we are not encroaching anybody's property.
Not even during the construction.
Not even during the construction, not even after the construction. Everything as per the drawing, it is within our property.
Okay, well, you've heard how important that is to the neighbors. So,
yes.
Does anyone else have any questions of the applicant or items of clarification? Go ahead, Mr. Dickey. Just before you start, I would like not to forget to read into record the people that we've received letters of opposition from. We have from Roberto Ock, Joe and Lorraine Mannion, Jeanette Cease, Mr. and Mrs. Lopercetti, who just presented, Arcadio and Zenada Ayala, Theo and Kathleen Shapiro, and Cal and Susan Trojan. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Dickey.
Madam Chair.
Yes, who's calling me? Oh, go ahead, Mr. Dickey. I thought someone else was calling me. I'm sorry. I'm hearing voices now. Go ahead.
This is again some questions just to clarify, maybe with the town planner or with the consultant. This situation that the plans and everything in the documents show 4.47 meters, whereas the variance is asking for a 0.48 meter. Did you say there's revised plans that we haven't seen? Someone?
We have submitted the revised plans, okay, and in the letter they mentioned that please mention this 0.48 meter. We have revised the drawings and we have accepted the draft as 0.48 meters. Maybe there is an old drawing which came in forward which is 0.7 meter. And if that is the case, we are ready to fix it up. If it is required, I can send you the revised drawings. I can send the revised drawings back to the Committee of Adjustment.
To the town planner, have you received these revised plans? I thought you said you hadn't received them.
Through you, Madam Chair, we've not received the revised plans that indicated 0.48. We've assessed it based on the notice that was provided with the plans. And that's how the assessment was made.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but the plans show 0.47 is what we were saying, and they've been modified as of February 7th of 2026. So we don't have anything that says 0.48 is what we're saying. Madam Secretary Treasurer, did you receive anything with that update?
Madam, can I clarify one thing?
Just give me a moment. Where did you submit it, Mr. Elahi?
Madam, we submitted to the Committee of Minor Adjustment to Sharon.
Okay, so give me a moment then.
Yes.
Madam Secretary Treasurer, did you receive revised plans from Mr. Elahi?
No, we didn't receive revised plans. We have the original plans that were sent on, I believe, February 7th or around that date.
Okay, so there seems to be a disconnect here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Mr. Elahi.
Okay, so if you look at the drawings and the site plan, which is drawing number 8-01, 0.47 meter distance mentioned from the proposed walkway to the property line, and 0.48 meter distance mentioned from the below grade stairs to the property line. So I think that is maybe the confusion.
Are you looking
Can I
at
just-
A1, A01?
Yes, madam. A-01. If I look the left side yard, 0.47 meter distance mentioned from the proposed walkway to the property line, and 0.48 meter distance mentioned from the below grade stair, which is the minor variance application, to the property line.
I don't know, Mr. Dickey, are you seeing it? Because I'm not.
No, I'm not seeing it.
Okay.
I'm plain and simple, sir, to the consultant. When we approve something, we say it's conditional upon the plans submitted. Your plans submitted do not show or show something other and less than what you're asking for in your variance. So right away, I would be not asking to deny that just for that reason alone. You would have the opportunity to ask for a deferral and correct those plans so your plans and your application coincide with each other. All right, there's my first thing right away. But I have more problems with your property. I have a problem just like the neighbor said, and I went out and measured my own lawnmower, and my lawnmower is 22 to 24 inches wide. So I see, from my point of view, that, and I don't know what other equipment you might want to pull back there, but I'm sure you're going to cut your grass. And in order to cut your grass, you have to trespass on your neighbor's property. I looked through your application. It doesn't say that you have an easement. And you folks could correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't have an easement. This is not a mutual side yard. This is individual side yards. And like the neighbor said, they could put a fence right down to the front wall, and that will mean that they have lots. I assume they have enough room on their side. I'm not getting into that. But you won't have enough room to get back there. The other thing that usually gets commented upon, and didn't seem to happen this time, and maybe I'll ask the town planner about this, oftentimes the fire department comment. And their concerns are, if there's a fire and we have to get back in the backyard with these guys that have big tanks on them and hoses over their back and whatever else, they want a sufficient amount of room. And I don't think, in my past recollection from some of their comments before, that particular amount, I think it's 1.7, whatever's left over there is not wide enough for them to get through. I think they generally look for 2 feet of width to get through. So that alone, in other words, I would not approve this until I heard from the fire department to say that it's okay. I don't know why they didn't comment here, but that's my opinion as to someone who hasn't commented to say to address the problem. So I don't see why you can't put this in the backyard. That would solve all the concerns of the neighbors, the concerns if there's any from the fire department, etc. So, any comments? Thank you.
Madam Chair, you would like me to answer the concerns?
Yes, please go ahead.
Madam Dickey, sorry about that. As I said earlier in my presentation, the right side yard of this property is 1.57 meter, which is, even if the windows, wells, they are constructed over there, we have more than 3.3 feet, 3 inches of space, which can easily accommodate any lawnmower going into the backyard. Plus, these plans, they are going to submit it to the building permit application. If any fire department, they have a concern, they would definitely raise at that point. Since we haven't received any comments from any fire department, I believe that there will be an acceptance. If they will have an objection, then definitely we are going to address this issue. My concern is not this, that the lawnmower cannot go in the backyard. This property has 2 side yards, one on the right, one on the left, which is more than 1.2 meter. And we are not basically compromising any kind of a fire route or any kind of any access to the backyard. So with respect to the design, this can be either in a backyard, below grade stairs, or in one of the side yard. I mean, my client decided to proceed with the side yard. That's one of the reasons. That's why we are here with the committee. Backyard is very small, and that is not functional, in our opinion.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments from committee members? Mr. Lopercetti and Ms. Lopercetti, we've heard you. We've heard everything that you've had to say. Now it's the time for the committee to have their discussion and make their decision. So I thank you for your submission. And the planner has something to say. Go ahead, Ms. Hajj Saleh.
Thank you. Just want to clarify my staff's understanding that fire has been circulated and they have provided comments. They don't have any concerns with the proposal, as the other side could be utilized.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. So that Mr. Dickey is understanding of where the fire department stands.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, you have your hand up so many times. I just don't see what else you can add to the discussion. It's our chance now to have this discussion.
Okay. Sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you.
I mean, I'll allow it. Go ahead. If you have something to say, go ahead. But
they're just questions from what was presented. There was some mention about April drawings. I don't think we've seen those. So you said
we're in the same ballpark as you.
Oh, okay,
yes.
okay. Just because we haven't received them either. And the reference I was making was to the A-06 document. So I know you were referencing a different document. I was like A-06 also shows the 0.7. That's, I just wanted to say that the drawing that I was citing. And in addition, they mentioned a privacy screen. Yeah, no encroachment. Again, my mom is 100% wheelchair bound and I don't have, on the other side, I only have grass. I cannot wheel her. My dad's in a walker. That's 100% not negotiable for me. No one can encroach on our property ever, type thing is my feeling. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll take the matter into, Madam Secretary Treasurer, has anyone else called with interest for this application?
We're showing no more hands and we've had no calls.
Okay, very well. We'll take the matter into committee. Who would like to move a motion? Go ahead, Mr. Dickey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Based upon my review of the owner's application, the site plans, the building elevations, and my site visit and the neighbors' concerns, and also together with the presentation by the owner's consultant and the planning staff's report, I still feel that this is not desirable or appropriate. I do not, I have no desire to approve something when the plans do not match, the numbers on the plans do not match what the variance is saying. So I put forth a motion to deny this application.
Thank you, Mr. Dickey. Is there a discussion on this recommendation? Go ahead, Mr. Hardcastle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think maybe I should have spoken up a little bit earlier, but I think that there's been a bit of a miscommunication around what the plans show and what they don't show. In the contested side yard, there is an existing setback of 1.51 meters. And there is a dimension that indicates that 1.03 meters will be the width of the proposed stairs. That leaves the 0.48. And as the applicant spoke to, the 0.47 is the distance between the sidewalk and the side property line. So you can see a proposed walkway that extends along the side of the from the garage, sorry, the driveway back towards the staircase, and it is actually a little bit wider than the actual wall for the staircase to the basement. So I don't believe that the numbers are inconsistent here. So I would like to highlight that in terms of just reading the drawings. At least that's the way I see them, and I believe that's what the applicant was attempting to say in their commentary. In terms of obtaining access to the rear yard, I believe that maintenance and other requirements can be achieved through the opposite side yard. It is not uncommon within modern homes to provide one side yard that is greater than the other side yard, and provided that lawnmowers and other equipment can be brought in. I don't believe that with the opposite side yard providing the 1.57 meters, notwithstanding the encroachments of the window wells, that it continues to be functional. And I don't believe I have seen anything within the materials that are provided or spoken to that spoke to the encroachment of any works into the neighbors' yards. I do hear the concerns of the neighbors. It is a substandard side yard, but I do believe that any requirements can be provided on the applicant's side in terms of encroachment in terms of fencing or screening. And I don't believe that there has been any proposal here to put any works into the yard of the abutting property owner. I believe that there is a very limited amount of space here to accommodate for drainage, but without having heard anything from our engineering folks, I would rely on their knowledge and understanding that drainage would be appropriately addressed as part of the permitting process. So based upon our review of the setbacks, I do not have I do not share the same concerns as Mr. Dickey does with respect to this, and I won't be supporting the motion on the floor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Hardcastle. Anyone else? Okay, go ahead, Mr. Tolsky.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I tend to read the drawings the same way Mr. Hardcastle, although it's unfortunate that it is confusing and it's gotten through to this point. If the committee were to find favor with this, I think that confusion can be rectified by changing the condition to have construction in accordance with site plan elevations to satisfaction of the director of planning, that he can require clarity be put into the drawings. With respect to the application itself, I acknowledge 8 letters of opposition. I think 7 of them, for the most part, speak to not wanting basement apartments and not to the variance. I do acknowledge that the neighbors here tonight have spoken very clearly and thoroughly about the actual variance in front of us. I think we can't lose sight of, we're dealing with 12 centimeters, 4.7 inches as the variance. I'm not convinced there's going to be any greater impact or lesser impact to the neighbors if the stairs are in the rear yard versus the side yard. The traffic still is going to go down that side yard. Similarly, we've not had any concerns from fire. Fire, when they have a concern, they have written specific comments. They have also written some comments in the past, generally saying as long as one side has access, that they're satisfied. And I think in this case, there is the potential for the access for not only fire, but the lawnmowers to come on the other side. So Madam Chair, I'm not convinced that there is a significant impact being created by allowing this a 4.7 inch variance in this matter. It doesn't change the permitted use of the property. There will be access stairs in some nature with traffic down the side yard. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so the motion before us is to deny. All those in support. Okay, all those opposed. Okay, and the chair abstains. The motion to deny has failed. Who would like to offer an alternative motion? Go ahead, Mr. Talowski.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I'm going to move that this application be approved as applied for, finding that it does meet the four tests of the Planning Act. It's a minor variance in this side yard. Access is still provided. There is no encroachment being suggested on the neighboring property. As I stated, it's unfortunate the confusion in the plans, but if the application were to be denied, you wouldn't need a deferral. I don't believe it's worth deferring for a 0.01 meter clarification. So, Madam Chair, I would make the move approval of the application with two conditions. One, that the uncovered stairs be constructed in general accordance with site plans and elevation drawings. In accordance with revised site plan and elevation drawings to the satisfaction of the Director of Planning and Development, and that the approval expires in 2 years if a building permit has not been issued. And Chair, I would again note the opposition, I think, previously spoke to those matters.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tarowski. So the motion to approve, all those in support? Okay, all those opposed? Okay, and the chair abstains. So the application has been approved.
Thank you very much.
Okay, have a good evening.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Good evening. Okay. Application 056 of 2026 at 392 Lakeshore Road. Again, that's application 56 2026 at 392 Lakeshore Road West. And I have Alexander Merritt as the agent. Go ahead, Mr. Merritt.
Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Alex Merritt with Stone Shore Residential Design, and I am acting as the agent of the owners of 392 Lakeshore Road West. We are requesting a single variance tonight to permit an accessory building height of 6.71 meters, where 4.0 meters is permitted. The proposed accessory building maintains the intent of the zoning bylaw. It does not create overlook or massing concerns, and the building is appropriately set back from all lot lines. Planning staff has reviewed the application and confirmed that it satisfies the four tests under the Planning Act, and have noted that no adverse impacts are anticipated and that the proposal is compatible with the surrounding neighborhood. We feel that the intent of the official plan is maintained through the appropriate siting, generous rear yard separation, and the architectural consistency with the existing dwelling. It's in our view that the variance is minor in nature and appropriate for the intended for the use of the property. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Merritt. Any questions of Mr. Merritt or items of clarification? Did you have your hand up, Mr. Dickey? Yeah, go ahead.
Just to clarify, you said there's no overlook, but I see three dormer windows. So I realize that there's no dormer window looking north, but there's a dormer window looking east. And to me, that would be overlook. Am I reading this wrong?
Through you, Madam Chair, thank you for the question, Council Member Dickey. The overlook that you're referring to facing the east side faces a very large undeveloped property. It's not overlooking anyone's use of that property currently. The closest overlook it would have would be, I think, the adjacent Pebble Ridge development, which is about 170 or so feet away. The overlook, in our opinion, doesn't actually have any impact on the neighbors as we see it.
Well, if the property behind you develops like the property on Pebble Ridge does, then there will be overlap. Now I know that's not pie in the sky, but I mean that could happen. It might not happen for decades and decades. My concern is if you get rid of that back dormer, then you don't have overlap. But let me just back up a little bit there on that before I go into before I finish that. My real concern, not real concern, my question would be maybe to yourself or to the town planner, could this be used as an accessory residential unit?
Through you, Madam Chair, in regards to your question, we don't have any intention of that. There's no plumbing, no kitchen, no bedrooms. The second story level is intended to be storage. It's a loft level with sloped ceilings. The intention is for storage of seasonal furniture, tools, maintenance equipment, materials that kind of support the upkeep of a large property. Keeping these in a dedicated structure, in our opinion, is cleaner, safer, and more appropriate than storing them in the house or outdoors.
There's a bathroom on the ground floor. You said there's no plumbing. Am I again reading something wrong? There's plumbing there.
Pardon me, there's no plumbing for kitchen. It's that bathroom is intended to serve the backyard with a potential future pool.
Okay, plain and simple. I don't have a problem with what you're saying as long as it's used for storage. I have a problem with the rear window overlooking the east side if there's a potential for it to be an accessory residential unit. That's it. And I realize what you're saying, it isn't intended for that, but I did notice that there's a 2-car garage at the house, the main house. It's a brand new house. It's a perfect, don't get me wrong, it's perfect for an accessory residential. Don't get me wrong there. And I have no problem with that except that window. So I think I'll keep my motion closed there. I made my point. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions, items of clarification? Has anyone called with interest for this application, Madam Secretary Treasurer?
We've had no calls and no hands in the audience.
Okay, very well. Let's take a motion. Go ahead, Mr. Hardcastle.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Having undertaken my site visit and having reviewed the materials, including the written staff report, having heard the presentation and the conversation here, I am satisfied that the requested variance conforms to the 4 tests of the Act. I think that that the impacts will be minimal, particularly in lieu of the proposed use of the building and limitations and additional processes that would be required if there were to be some future conversion of the building. So I'm going to put forward a motion of approval. I'll find finding that the proposal conforms to the 4 tests of the Act. That motion will be subject to 2 conditions, those being that the accessory structure be constructed in general accordance with the submitted site plan dated December 3rd, 2025, and the elevation drawings dated December 3rd, 2025. And that the approval expire was within 2 years of the date of the decision if a building permit has not been issued.
Thank you, Mr. Hardcastle. The discussion on this recommendation. I see none. All those in support? Okay, and the application has been approved, none opposed.
Thank you. Good evening.
Have a good evening. Okay. Application 57 of 2026 at 246 Albion Avenue. Again, that's application 057 of 2026 at 246 Albion Avenue. I have Mr. David Carruthers as the agent. Go ahead.
Good evening, Madam Chairman and members of the committee. My name is David Carruthers from Carruthers and Associates of 505 York Boulevard in Hamilton, Ontario, and I'm here as the agent on behalf of the owners to ask for approval under subsection 45 of the Planning Act for the two variances as outlined in the consolidated report. I've read through the planning staff report, which includes the following. The planning staff's no objection to the development, the no objections from the region or other outside agencies. I've also read through development engineering's condition that a site alt permit will be required. I've also read the letter of opposition from the neighbor and would just like to clarify and answer the neighbor's question as follows. The neighbor is worried about how close the two dwellings will be once construction, but our main house is actually located further away from the property than the current house is. We are proposing a side yard setback of 4.79 in this area, and the 3.31 setback is actually just for the small portion of the exit stairs. So we still have over 10 feet from the edge of the, let's call it the basement walk-up stairs to the side of the property. And I believe at least 32 feet between the two buildings if there was any fire concerns. And again, this is just based on the irregular shape of the lot, how it comes down at a triangle at the back, and we did our best to accommodate the majority of the project. As part of our application, I have provided a justification report outlining our ideas and reasoning behind our variance requests, and I'll just touch on them as follows. Do the variances meet the four tests and intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw? The minor variances will help facilitate a new custom home project that is consistent and compatible with the existing community built form character. The majority of the development was carefully designed to stay within the parameters of the zoning bylaw, including lot coverage, gross floor area, height, and house setbacks. The variances requested today, in our opinion, represent a minor departure for what is currently permitted, and there is no combination of any other variances that will result in the overbuilding on this subject property. Variance 1, we're asking for a garage area of 75.04 square meters, where a maximum of 56 meters is required, meters squared is required. The zoning intent of limiting the garage area is to prevent the garage from visually dominating the dwelling facade with multiple garage doors. In our case, there is only one standard double-car garage door from the street, and the third space is in tandem, so there will be no impact on driveway width or the streetscape. The additional internal space will be used for internal household storage that is appropriate for the development and also maintains the intent of the bylaw. It is our opinion that there'll be no negative impacts on the adjacent properties due to this requested variance, and therefore, in our opinion, is minor in nature. This variance 2, the proposed encroachment of the access stairs below grade is 0.89 meters into the side yard, where a maximum of 0 is permitted. The intent of regulating projections and encroachments of below grade access stairs is to allow for proper drainage and not to restrict access, and to allow for adequate landscaping and open space. In our case, the below grade access stairs located in the side yard project to further than 0.89 meters than the maximum requirement. Numerically, this number might not seem minor in nature, but taking into account the irregular side property line and a large side yard setback of 3.31 meters, there's more than adequate space for drainage, landscaping, and open space along the side of the property. It is our opinion that there will be no negative impacts on the adjacent properties due to this requested variance, and in our opinion, it is minor in nature. So in conclusion, as described above, we believe the requested variances will allow for reinvestment to occur on the subject lands in a manner that is compatible and in keeping with the current streetscape of the neighborhood. We believe that the application is minor in nature and appropriate for the development of the lands and maintains the general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw. My opinion that these variances satisfy the 4 tests of section 45(1) of the Planning Act and represent good design. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions or items of clarification from Mr. Crothers at this time? Yeah, I see none. Has anyone called with interest for this application, Madam Secretary Treasurer?
Yes, we have one hand showing. One moment. It is Yan. I'll move them into the meeting. One moment. Can you speak up, Yan?
You have to unmute yourself, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. Sorry. Thank you. Good evening. Yeah, we are the immediate labor of the project. So we submit our concern before, and we get the feedback just now from the Mr. David. So we are just still concerned about the limited space between the 2 dwellings after the new project. So, because we have a very quiet in the community in our street, we all have a big space between the dwellings. So I'm not sure if the new project processed. So maybe it's not the same space like the other community other houses. So maybe I'm not sure. I think it's not a good choice. So it maybe make me the market price of our house decreased. So I know.
Okay. I gave some supplement because our English is not good. We have write a written objection.
We got your objection letter. We did. We received it.
Now I give an addition. We are really worried about the space. My swimming pool, the machine is on the side neighbor to the proposed building. In summer evening night, the pump machine is very loud. If the new building open entrance on this side, I really worry about when the new neighbor move in, they will have some loud problem. If further narrow the space, that's the new addition I think of. That's all.
Okay. I think Mr. Crothers already answered that, but I'll let him comment about the spacing again between the two homes.
Through you, Madam Chair, if I can have the just the survey pulled up, so I can just explain to them with a visual
Sure.
what we're doing.
Yep, town staff will bring it up for you.
Thank you. It should be the those might be the house plans. Is there a survey? There should be a survey attached. No. There. If you wouldn't mind zooming in on the stair location on the right side of the house. Just zoom in maybe just a little more, if that would be great. Just, yeah, a bit more. Okay. And just down a little bit. No, the other way. Yeah, a little bit more there. Okay, so yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. As you can see, the light gray line on the right-hand side represents the location of the current house. You'll see a number 91.09, and then there's a light gray with some hatching that kind of comes down the side. That's the existing house location as it sits right now. So the house, the side of the house is much further back. It's at least a meter even further back. So the majority of this development is further back and than the existing house. The area that we're discussing the variance tonight is the hinge point at the 3.31 meters. It's at the corner of the stairs. So it's not on the entirety of the property. It's just at this small location. And then you can see the lot line feathers out, and at the bottom of the stairs, it's 4.15, where the distance is, like we're actually providing 4.9 at that location. So I understand the concerns from the neighbor, but I would say that our proposal from a house location gives them, from a neighbor, they were concerned about the value of their home, and from a neighborhood perspective, we're actually improving the side yard setback along the entire set of the property, just not at the one location is what we're asking for the minor variance at the corner of the stairs. And even at that corner of the stairs, there's still 10 feet between the stairs and the fence, and 32 feet from your edge of your house to those stairs. I hope that explains it. And if there's any other further questions, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Crothers. Okay, so we've clarified that, right? Like it's 4.9 meters, and only that small portion is 3.31 meters. So now you understand the difference. Any other questions or items of clarification of the applicant before we take the matter into committee? Okay, I see none. All right, who would like to move a motion? Go ahead, Ms. Price.
Taking into consideration the reports by the agent and staff and the one letter of opposition, I find the proposed application to be minor in nature and in keeping with the general intent and purpose of the official plan and zoning bylaw, and desirable for the appropriate development of the land. The proposed development maintains and protects the character of the existing neighborhood and does not present unacceptable adverse impacts. In conclusion, I believe the four tests have been met and I recommend the application be approved subject to the following conditions. The dwelling be constructed in general accordance with the submitted site grading and servicing plan dated March 6, 2026, and elevation drawings dated March 2nd, 2026, and that the approval expires 2 years from the date of the decision if the building permit has not been issued for the proposed construction.
Thank you, Ms. Price. Is there discussion on this recommendation? I see none. All those in support? Okay, the application has been approved, none opposed. Okay, have a good night.
Thank you.
Application 061 of 2026, 21 Pebble Ridge Place. Again, that's application 061 of 2026 at 21 Pebble Ridge Place. We have a letter of support from a Matthew Aquino, and we have a letter of opposition from an Adel Alali. And we have Mr. Darren Sanger Smith. I apologize for that.
No problem.
My tongue got the best of me.
It's late. I understand. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee. My name is Darren Sanger Smith at Structured Creations. I'm the agent for Frank and Pam Appa, 21 Pebble Ridge. I'm here before you to seek relief on 4 very minor variances. I'll go through them very quickly for you. The first 2 relate to a large, long, narrow window well that we are proposing along the east side. The property is taken up on the, on the west side. And the property is taken up on the east side in the rear by patios and a reverse grade driveway. So the majority of the living space in the basement is taken up along the west side. So we have accommodated some very large windows to let some natural light down into those spaces. And as such, instead of having a series of long or very short 6 foot or 1.8 meter maximum window wells along that wall, we amalgamated it into one long window well, which requires a variance due to its overall length, and obviously being greater than the 1.8 meters. With that variance, we've also attached a variance for depth in that, and that's really just to allow some access due to the size of the windows and the operating of those windows for access out. The second variance is for a set of stairs that encroaches into the side yard setback. Due to the nature of the property, and it's quite consistent along the back of the property on the 2 adjacent properties, there's quite a high terrace at the back, and therefore we need some stairs that are going to take us down into the below grade, and then this particular stairs takes us down into a below grade storage room that we're using for seasonal storage, pool equipment, and such. The final variance is for the positioning of the front yard setback. We are going for a setback and have pushed the building back. We feel partly to align with the house immediately to the west, but also because of the pie-shaped lot, we didn't want to squeeze the narrowness of the property at the very front. In conjunction with the reverse grade driveway and the easement, it made sense to us to push the property, widen the face of the building to give it a little bit more presence like the remaining houses in the neighborhood. And as such, we required a variance. It might be noted that these 4 variances were all part of the initial variance application that we had back in November. Unfortunately, they were not caught by the planner at the time, but were picked up by the building department as we were going through the building permit process. We have had all of the approvals with the region. We've had all the approvals with conservation. We've had our development engineering approvals to deal with grading and drainage, and no one has any issues with the encroachments of the stairs and the window wells. So I feel that these are minor in nature, and look to your assistance. If you have any questions, I'm open to any commentary. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Sanger-Smith. Who has questions or items of clarification? Okay, I see none. Has anyone called with interest for this application, Madam Secretary Treasurer?
We have had no calls and no hands showing in the audience.
Okay, very well. Who would like to move a motion? Go ahead, Mr. Dickey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Based on my review of the owner's application, the site plans, the building elevations, my site visit, together with the presentation by the owner's consultant and the planning staff's report, I am satisfied that the variances are minor in nature and conform to the four tests of the Planning Act, and I put forth a motion that the application is applied for be approved, subject to the conditions that subject to condition that the dwelling be constructed in general accordance with the submitted site plan dated March 11th, 2026, and the elevation drawings dated March 5th, 2026, and the approval expires 2 years from the date of the decision if a building permit has not been issued for the proposed construction.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dickey. Is there a discussion on this recommendation? See none, all those in support? Okay, the application has been approved, none opposed.
Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Have a good evening. Okay, we have minutes to confirm for April the 1st. Thank you, Ms. Price. And motion to adjourn. Thank you, Mr. Hardcastle. We are adjourned at 9:06.